This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. South Dakota's riot boosting bill got a thorough hearing at a special meeting of the Senate Judiciary Committee Tuesday night. After nearly 2 hours of testimony from opponents, committee members still voted 6-1 to pass the bill along to the full Senate for floor debate. The state says the law fixes problems that were deemed unconstitutional in last year's version of the bill. Opponents say it still restricts speech and assembly through intimidation. Victoria Wicks has this report.
Dick Teason is a lobbyist for the South Dakota Sheriff's Association. He says law enforcement officers can use the riot-boosting law as a tool to protect opponents as well as proponents.
Law enforcement has never perceived their part in this play to be one-sided. When we go to one of these, we see our job as the one that is supposed to protect both sides.
But some opponents say they were at Standing Rock protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline, and there they saw government and private security officers intimidate and attack protesters. Now they're afraid the riot-boosting law will offer an even greater threat of arrest and prosecution in South Dakota. One of them is Joy Braun, a member of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe and an organizer with the Indigenous Environmental Network. She says some interactions with law enforcement officers at Standing Rock were friendly and pleasant.
Sometimes they prayed with us. Sometimes they smudged with us. I shook their hand.
But she says not all interactions were positive.
How do I reconcile when there's 28 Jersey barriers and 12 feet of razor wire and they're throwing water cannons at us for 6 hours in 28-degree Fahrenheit weather? Who protects us?
Braun asked the senators to uphold the First Amendment as ardently as they uphold the Second. For National Native News, I'm Victoria Wicks in Rapid City, South Dakota.
The Utah Senate passed a bill this week which creates a Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Task Force. 9 members will include state lawmakers, advocates, tribal citizens, and law enforcement. The group will work with tribes and report findings to the legislature in November. The task force mirrors other efforts in neighboring states of Arizona and New Mexico. The bill now heads to the governor. Lakota writer Charles Trimble, who passed away this week, is being remembered for his contributions to Native American journalism and his work in Indian country as an advocate and leader. His niece, Judy Cornelia, says his professional accomplishments fill volumes, including as an engineer, founder of the American Indian Press Association, and executive director of the National Congress of American Indians. Cornelia says he was a caregiver to his entire family and was like a father to her, generous with his time and wisdom.
He was a complex but simple man who really embodied the fundamental tenets of our Oyate, our family, our tribe, our culture. You know, that generosity, the understanding, compassion, commitment to the family instead of, you know, his personal ego. And while he was, you know, respected and honored across the globe, I think the things that he treasured most were the appreciation of his family for the things that he gave us. And when I say family, I don't mean just blood. I mean the Oyate, our tribe, that gained so much from him. He was stellar.
Trimble was born on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. His health had been declining in recent months. He died a little more than a week before his 85th birthday. I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced by Kawanak Broadcast Corporation with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Support by the American Indian Higher Education Consortium, working to ensure tribal colleges and universities are included in our higher education system. Info on 37 tribal colleges and universities at aihec.org. Support by the Sonosky Chambers Law Firm, championing tribal sovereignty and defending Native American rights since 1976, with offices in Washington, D.C., New Mexico, California, and Alaska.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.